Seesaw works both in your web browser and also on a mobile device. I set up my account on my laptop using the browser, and when you download the app onto your iPad or other tablet, the accounts will sync automatically. So anything you update in one will appear automatically on the other. Once you've created your account, it will automatically pop up with this box asking you to create your class. You need to type in your class name, choose Other, and click on the green tick. At this point, you want to go down to the bottom of the screen to add students. Click on the plus sign and select No, because we don't want the students to sign into Seesaw using any kind of account or email address. At this point, we're going to click on Shared Devices. Now, instead of adding student names, this is where we're going to type in the names of the classes in your school. So I will start with Nursery, Reception, Year 1, Year 2, and so on. If you are a school with mixed age classes, for example, a Year 3 and 4 class, it's still worth having the year group separate on your Seesaw account, because this still shows the level of work and the expectations you have for children in particular year groups. So even though they're in a mixed class, you'll still be able to show the differentiation between, for example, Year 3 and Year 4. Once you have added all of the classes in your school, press the green tick. You can then see down the side, I now have each class with its own separate area. We want to get rid of sample student. We can go into the tool, the spanner icon, the tool bit at the top, and we can go to manage students. Click on sample student. And at the bottom, you can click remove student from class. If I go back into the spanner icon at the top here, this is where I can manage the different classes. So at the moment, it's defaulted my class name to Maudsley Primary School. Now, if I want to make this class one of the non-book subjects, for example, PE, then I would type that in there. Then I can do a similar thing. I can add a new class. So up in the top left corner, it will say the teacher's name. And at the moment, I just have that one class, which we've called PE. So if I click on that, I've then got the option here to create a new class. And this is where I want to create another class, maybe another subject that you don't currently have a way of evidencing work. So I might call music. And again, we click on Other and click the green tick. Okay, I then need to go through the same process that I showed you on the previous video where we add students. So we will, instead of adding students, we will add the names of the classes in your school. And I can keep doing this until I have created all of the necessary classes or the necessary subjects for your school. If you go back into the spanner icon, you can edit some of the settings for each class. You can see that I've changed the class theme to a different colour to make each subject stand out and be differentiated. You can also add a class icon. So there are some already existing, or you can upload your own image. For music, I'll choose the saxophone. Now you have set up all of your subjects and classes within those subjects, I'm going to show you how to add children's work as evidence. So click on the big Add circle and go to post student work. You now have 6 different options. The first we're going to look at is photograph. So this will work brilliantly with any mobile devices such as tablets. You can go around the classroom or the school environment and take a photograph of what the children are doing. This could be a freeze frame in PSHE. It could be some cards that they've sorted on their desk. It might be work on a whiteboard where they've recorded their thinking. It could be a photograph of something in PE to show a technique. If you're using it on the desktop or a laptop browser, you would click on it and it would use your camera that's usually built into the top of your monitor. So if I was to click on it, it would just show my face looking at the screen. Drawing. I'm going to click on this. Drawing's basically an interactive digital whiteboard. So you've got all the usual features where you can use a pen, you've got text, you can record your screen and your voice, and on the 3 dots here you can add shapes and symbols. You can add a different background. You can add a link in, or again you can add a voice note. This might be useful if you want to capture a child's thought processes or a verbal explanation of something. So it might be used for retrieval if you're asking them to recap or talk about something that they've learnt last week, last term, last year, and you can do this. You can annotate in the text box with their names and the date. I'm going to delete that one now and show you the next way of posting student work. So we've got video, and again, that's perfect for a mobile device. You might be able to go and record something in PE, whether it's a final dance production, whether it's children presenting something in a languages lesson or giving a speech in English. So again, that works just the same as the photo. This one on the bottom left is upload. So you can upload something you've already got as a document, either saved on your hard drive or saved, for example, in Google Drives or in the cloud. Note, this is just a box where you can type things in. So it might be something that you just want to add yourself, or you might ask a child to type something up. And finally, we've got a link. So I'm going to show you now and take you through the whole process of how you would add a piece of work with a link. So I'm going to click on that. I have already copied a link from my Google Drive of a piece of work that a child has shared with me. So I did have to make sure that the link was available for anybody to view. So the first time I tried it, I forgot to click that box. So it's important that you do that, otherwise it won't share. And to paste the link in there and press the green tick. This was a piece of work my Year 5s did in French, where we were looking at the geographical features of France and the land borders with other countries. So that's the piece of work. I'm going to add a text box to it to give the names to the children. And I'm going to put a date. So I know when the work happened. I might ask the children to do a recording of it, speaking about what they've done and explain the task. When I'm happy with what I've put on there, I'm going to press the green tick. And I already selected my French classroom in advance of this. I'm now going to scroll down to Year 5, check that box, and again, press the green tick. It takes a few moments to upload. And then you can see that in the Year 5 section, I've now got that post. If I hover over the link icon or click on that, it's going to then come up with the link and it will take me to their project. Here is another example of a post that I have put into Seesaw in my French Year 4 class. So I uploaded from my Google Drive Google Slides, and it came up with all 15 slides. The children were working in pairs. I deleted at the side the slides I didn't want, and I have kept 3 different levels of work. So that's showing children working really well above a year 4 level, children working, really well where they should be, children who are not quite meeting all the expectations. And what I've done as well is I've added a comment. So you can see this little call out icon here, and you click on that and it asks you to type in a comment. So I dated it, and then I just put a little summary of what the task was, and then just an explanation of the 3 levels that you can see. If I didn't want to type, you do have the option to add a voice note instead. So you can record verbally a kind of a quick summary of what the work is. At any point, you can click on these 3 dots and you can go to edit post. When you go to edit post, it takes you back in and allows you to add different things. Now, this can be really useful if you want to show retrieval and retention of knowledge. So you might go back to a post that you've got of a child's work a month later, a week later, the following year, and you ask them to talk about that work and see if they can remember the learning and those crucial bits of information that you wanted them to retain. You can then add that as a voice note, and again, if you date that, you've then got the 2 examples of how the learning has stuck over time. Another feature of Seesaw, which is quite useful, is the ability to add subfolders within each subject class that you have made. The quickest way to do this is to click on the folder icon within your class and press Create a Folder. I'm going to call this one Programming. I'm going to tick the green button. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to create another folder. I'm going to call this one Digital Literacy, Online Safety. I'm going to press the green tick. I'm going to scroll down again, create another one. I'm going to call this Multimedia. So I'm creating subfolders for the different strands within the computing curriculum. And we're going to add one more. We're going to call this one Systems and Networks. So this is just another way that once you have your pupil posts, you can then organise them into folders. So if you want to show anybody progression within a particular strand, so how programming develops throughout the course of a child's journey at your school, you can then filter and look at the posts just in the programming section. So it just helps to speed up and to organise the evidence a little bit better.